You're listening to the official podcast of Bloodstock Open Air Festival. Bloodstock Radio.
Yes, hello, good evening, and welcome to Bloodstock Radio, the official podcast of the Bloodstock Open Air Festival. This is podcast number 49, so we reach our half century next week. We are now just 8 weeks away from the festival, which is both exciting and absolutely terrifying at the same time, if you have to arrange as many interviews with bands as I do between now and then. Don't forget that if you haven't got your tickets yet, then you really do need to get a move on, as we are fully expecting to be selling out of weekend tickets yet again this year, so get yourself sorted out quickly. Otherwise, you risk missing out on acts like Gojira, Judas Priest, Cannibal Corpse, Emperor, and of course, Suicidal Tendencies, who we just opened up the show with there. You Can't Bring Me Down from their album Lights, Camera, Revolution, which was released an enormous 28 years ago in 1990. Which makes me feel very old indeed. But I'm most definitely looking forward to seeing them at Bloodstock this year. So, onwards with the show. We have got another Metal to the Masses winning band for you later on. And we've also had another section sent in to us by Howard H. Smith from Acid Rain. So I'll be handing you over to him later on. But before all that, the Heretic Order were recently announced as being back at Bloodstock this year. And they have a new album and a mini tour on the way. So I had to catch up with their frontman, my good friend Danny, aka Lord Wagner. So let's have a listen to that here on Bloodstock Radio.
The Big Interview.
Okay, next up on Bloodstock Radio, we're having a chat to Danny from the Heretic Order. How are you, mate?
Hi there, mate. Yeah, all good, Paul.
Excellent. Yes. Well, yes, you've got lots of stuff going on. So, the new album, Evil Rising, is imminently going to be out. So, you must be pleased that it's finally here.
Yeah, we, we never planned there was going to be a second Heretic Order, but it's here. Once we did the first album, it was a matter of seeing, like, we had so many songs. And I thought, yeah, there's going to be a second one. And it's been like really worked on it, really, really hard. You know, like these songs are a bit more technical. The lyric content is a bit more worked up. You know, it's the first one was a bit more spontaneous, and this is a much more thought about album. Really happy on the end result, recorded by Will Meyer and myself. We did some stuff as well, and mixed by Will Meyer too. So I'm really happy with the end result. It sounds really good.
Yeah, it does. It sounds great, but it's great. It's also, you say it has evolved, but you've definitely got a very Heretic Order sound. You can see the evolution from the first album as well.
Yeah, also, yes. Of course, it's a Heretic Order, but it's a bit more, like you say, it's an evolution. It's good that the band has gone up a notch, you know, like step of gear.
Yeah. Well, we can see that we've also got the video out for the title track "Evil Rising," and that's what I would call definitely a typical Heretic Order album. You've got blood, you've got satanic nymphs, and the whole works. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Heretic on me, and it's pinnacle. And that's what we do, mate. It's whoever sees the video, will understand what the band is about. It's fun rock and roll, but at the same time we've got this occult side and. Being fans of horror movies and the horror genre, it's easily being swayed in this world of horror, like I call it, occult.
It's definitely got a Hammer horror sort of feel to it. The old Hammer horror films, you definitely sort of see the influence of those on them as well.
We actually, the song decides and talks about the evil that this world creates, what we understand by evil. Is that a man-made word or does it really exist? And that's called the characters of the past history coming out, plus what people believe is evil, it's a concept that many people, what is evil to some is good for others. So it's probably a man-made thing. So
yeah,
that is the concept of the song.
And it really, really works. It really fits in with you guys as well. So I remember being at the very first Heretic Order gig at the Purple Turtle. When you guys first came out, and I as you know, followed you around all over the place and been to quite a few. So it's great that it's all still going, and you've got the second album out there now as well. And that, like you said, you weren't too sure how it would go down and how long it was going to last for originally, no?
Yeah, it was like a thought about saying like the first album I just had all these songs I decided I wanted to put them out, you know. So that was the idea. This more is more like kind of more planned, you know. Like I never even thought I was going to be a singer. So everything was new for me in the second album. And in the first album. And this time around, you know, it's more kind of accepting what we have now and have all the tools in place and just working with them.
Yeah, well, he's definitely got a following behind you as well, and you're back at Bloodstock again this year. When you played on the Sophie stage, and we had a chat to you a couple of years ago, so you must be delighted to be back again, yeah? Yeah,
amazing. I'm more like with this year. The festival has grown in structure, you know, like we got Judas Priest, we got Nightwish with this amazing lineup. Even Mr. Big is there. Not very metal, but
yeah, well, no,
I love them. They're amazing players.
They will surprise a lot of people. I think it's the same with Skindred. It was the same with Ghost. It was a little bit sort of like, oh my god, that's a bit of a very Marmite reception to them. But I think Mr. Big will go down really, really well this year.
Oh, I mean, Paul Gilbert and Billy Sheehan. Like a guitarist, I'll tell you, they pull the punches. But yeah, it's amazing for us to like be involved in that great occasion. There is a Bloodstock, you know, even being in the posters, in the whole thing. It's really good for us. We're like I say, we are building up the Heretic. It is what it is nowadays. You know, it's very difficult to get big tours, and unless you play, I don't know, go playing around, like, you know, many upcoming bands are getting chances of going on the road around Europe or England, you know, like with bigger bands. So an opportunity like Bloodstock is like amazing. It's one of the things every band is aspiring and looking for.
Yeah. Well, you've got some live dates coming up as well later on in June as well, haven't you? You're going to be around the country, so your stage show will be just as fantastic as ever, I'm sure.
Yeah, we've got like 2 weeks. And it was really unlucky because we were supporting Piston on the reunion tour in the UK, but they actually for reasons or whatever, they actually cancelled the whole tour. So we were really bit like, you know, like really taken aback. But we just went and did our own gigs, which works for us. You know, at least we're on the road when the album is out. And after that, well, we're planning some stuff for after the summer. I mean, like I said, we will be there in Bloodstock. After the summer, we'll be planning to, I can't say but we will be another quite well-known British band trying to go taking the metal on the road.
Excellent, cool. Well, we look forward to seeing that as well. And
already, before I forget, we are confirmed for Hammerfest in March next year.
Yeah, excellent. That's always a good gig. I've seen you up there before as well.
Yeah, we're getting a bit more established, like a true British metal outfit.
Absolutely. And,
so this is really good.
Yeah, just returning back to the album as well, I'm literally just looking at the cover art on that as well, and that is so Heretic Order, it's ridiculous. It's got bottles of JD in there, it's got Satanic Nix in there, and it's got the whole lot there, yeah?
Well, it's I got the inspiration, the cover's done by iPoet, and he's the company 5 milligrams. They have worked with Napalm Death and Shadows in the past, and they did the cover for the first album. So I had the idea, like, you know, like a kind of the concept Evil Rising. So I wanted to do like kind of a cover, kind of a Life After Death, Iron Maiden, kind of coming from the grave, you know.
Yeah.
So I would give him the idea to the guy, give him the vision I had, and he came back with that, and the guy's amazing.
Yeah, no, it is. It's an absolute beast, and it's a great album as well. So out on Massacre Records, June 22nd. So we'd advise all our people to go out and go and listen to it and get ready for you guys.
Yes, let's get British metal in the map again.
Indeed. Okay, well, cheers for talking to us, Dan, and we'll play Evil Rising now as well. So if you can introduce that for us, and we'll see you soon, mate.
Excellent. Okay, this is Ragnar for the Lord from the Heretic Order. This is Evil Rising.
Beavis, what are you doing?
I'm just buying our Bloodstock tickets from www.bloodstock.uk.com.
Beavis, that's in England.
So?
That's like in another state. We'd have to get Mr. Anderson to drive us there.
Or maybe we could get a ride with Mr. Big. They're on the main stage on Sunday.
Cool. I want to do bin jousting in Midgard.
Yeah. And maybe I could DJ in the VIP Serpent's Lair. I got skills, you know.
You suck, Beavis.
Yeah, but I'm going to Bloodstock at least. Let's do it. I'm the one who wants to be with you. Deep inside, I hope you feel it too.
Yes, indeed. As we said in the interview there, Mr. Big will indeed be at Bloodstock this year, and they will absolutely sound a lot better than those two just did. Okay, so that was The Heretic Order with Evil Rising, the title track from their upcoming album, which is released on June the 22nd. And Danny also mentioned some tour dates there. Well, that actually starts tomorrow night. That's Friday the 15th. And you can catch them in Leeds at the Temple of Boom, and then on Saturday they're at the Cellar in Oxford, and on Sunday they're at the Arches in Coventry. Then next week, on Wednesday the 20th, they're playing Firebug in Leicester. Thursday the 21st is the Harp in Folkestone. And then next weekend, Saturday the 23rd, they're at the Academy 3 in Birmingham. Sunday the 24th is Trillions in Newcastle. Monday the 25th is Yardbirds in Grimsby. And finally, Tuesday the 26th will be at Rebellion in Manchester. And of course, we'll be having them back at Bloodstock on the Friday this year, up close and personal on the Jägermeister stage. So next up, we are back on the Metal to the Masses trail. I told you on the show last week that we had the Poland final last Saturday. However, unbeknownst to me, it was actually being rearranged until this Saturday night. And they've got some rather special guest headliners there in the form of the awesome Decapitated. Yes, you heard that right. Decapitated are headlining a Metal to the Masses final in Poland this Saturday, which I think is absolutely amazing news. We also have a few other finals this weekend, namely Wrexham and Saltash, which is the Devon and Cornwall one. They are both tomorrow night, Friday. And then Cardiff and Somerset are on Saturday night. So try to get to those if you can. And good luck to all the bands taking part, of course. But a couple of weekends ago, you may remember me mentioning that I sneaked up to Sanctuary in Burnley to watch their grand final. The winners there were a band called Autocracy, so let's hear a little bit from them along with some of their music. But before that, also present that night was the lovely Fluffy Animal, and he's done us another instalment of his Thesaurus Thursday, so let's check that out right now here on Bloodstock Radio.
Hey up, this is Animal, the New Blood Stage resident drum tech. And I'm going to be teaching you the alternative meanings to some English words. Crackdown, the hair found around your arse. Poppycock, an improvised condom made out of bubble wrap. Diabolic, to stain a testicle. Transistor, your gender fluid sibling. Arseholes, what Jesus saved. Ambivalence, an emergency vehicle that really doesn't care if it gets to you on time. Loophole, like a toilet brush but longer. Papal, a way for Catholics to pay for their sins online. Transponder, to really think about having a sex change. Flapjack, a speculum. Countryside, to kill all politicians.
And now on Bloodstock Radio.
A Metal to the Masses winners interview.
Okay, next up on Bloodstock Radio, we're having a chat to our Metal to the Masses winners up in Burnley. It was Autocracy, and we're talking to Joe. How are you, sir?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm very well. Are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Excellent. So, I made it up to the final in Burnley. I do like to get around a bit, so I was there to see you guys triumph. So, has it sunk in yet that you're going to be playing at Bloodstock?
Well, it's one of them for me. It's every gig, like you turn up, you don't really know how it's sort of gonna go, and I think that's going to be the same when we when we go to play, it'll be, you hear about other people turn up and play and say it's amazing and whatever, but until you're up there, I don't really think it can. So, like I say, when we get there, that's probably when we'll all stand there and just like say, oh dear, here we go.
That's a typical Yorkshire response, that, mate.
Well, it is what it is, isn't it? What can you do?
Yeah, well, I've interviewed a lot of Metal to the Masses bands over the last few years, and I haven't heard any of them say that it was bad. So hopefully you won't break that trend.
No, fingers crossed.
Cool. Okay, so so tell us a bit about Autocracy, because obviously I've mentioned the fact that you're actually from Yorkshire and you managed to sort of venture over to Pennines and steal the old Metal to the Masses from Burnley and then wander back with it. So tell us a bit about your background, how long you've been going for, and what type of music you play and stuff like that.
The band's been going for about 2 years. I think they did actually enter Metal to the Masses last year at Selby, but I don't think that's a thing anymore.
Yeah.
I think they actually shut down, so I think that's the main reason why we came over to Burnley, is to give it a crack there. As far as the band goes, we're sort of melodic death metal along the lines of At the Gates, Soilwork, Arch Enemy, that sort of thing. Anybody who's into those sort of bands, low-strung riffs, ridiculous solos, blast beats, should just go and check it out. It'll be great.
Yeah, cool. Okay, that sounds good. Obviously, we've got At the Gates at the festival this year as well, so hopefully you won't clash with them.
Oh, fingers crossed, mate. They're basically my favourite band ever.
Yeah, my mate Russ Russell did their latest album, and of course Russ is also involved in our Metal to the Masses competition.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Yeah, I've heard about all that. Fingers crossed, like I say again.
He's got his work cut out, Russ, because there's obviously a lot of Metal to the Masses bands for him to check out and that. But It's a really great gesture. I did an interview with him over at his studios recently, and he's actually got signed drum skins from all the At the Gates guys as well, and things like that. So whichever band it is, they'll have a lot of fun with Russ anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fingers crossed it'll be us.
Well, we'll see how it goes. So tell us a bit about your Metal to the Masses then, and obviously you said you took part before. So what was it that sort of brought you back? What did you get out of it, even though you didn't actually get through to Bloodstock? And what would you say to other bands that are maybe thinking of taking part in it?
Well, we had a bit of a change in lineup. Our old guitar player decided to leave. We went to do it again just because they had a change up in personnel. Got a new singer in who was absolutely fantastic, by the way. And like I say, any bands who are thinking of doing it, after what we've had in Burnley and the great shows that we've done, they're always good shows. Even if you don't think you might get through to the next round, just go and do it, because they're great gigs. They're absolutely great gigs, and everybody needs it.
Yeah.
The whole scene needs it. I mean, you can go to any number of shows and play as an original musician, but the Metal to the Masses ones have always been the best for us, and especially at Burnley. Sanctuary is absolutely crazy. We love it. We definitely, I think we've got one booked just before Bloodstock. Have they got a warm-up show there?
I think they may have, yeah. So Lisa up at Sanctuary. She used to actually run the bar. I had a very, very drunk night in there with her last October. So that's only the second time that I've been when I went to the final last week, and the gig wasn't actually on in Sanctuary, but the after party was. So we'd been over the road at another venue for Sankfest, Acid Rain headlining, and ended up.
Wow.
I think it was actually Lisa's last night of running the bar there after like 12 years or something that she was there for.
Right.
Yeah. So we ended up there until like 5 a.m. So it was a bit of a messy one, but yeah, that's the first time I've seen a live gig there, and it's the sound was great, and it's a tight-packed little room in there and everything, and it was absolutely rammed, really well attended. Yeah.
That's it, man. Well, a big shout out to Lisa. We like Lisa in Autocracy. We like her.
Okay, well, we're going to hear some of your music. We're going to hear a song called Awakening. So this is your last chance to basically, sell yourselves to our punters. So why should our listeners check out Autocracy on the New Blood stage at Bloodstock?
If you like the low-slung, silly riffs, come and see us, and you'll love it. There you go.
Cool. Sounds perfect. Okay, right. Well, we'll hear that song now. Is there any EP or anything that this is off that you want to plug or anything, or?
Yeah, man, it's all on Spotify, Amazon, Google Play. I think it's on iTunes and all that stuff. And besides all that stuff, just go to Facebook and check out put in Autocracy into top search bar. Come and find us, give us a like, send us a message. We will reply. You'll love it.
Okay, cool. That's excellent. Cheers for talking to us, Joe, and congratulations, and we'll see you at Bloodstock.
All right, mate. No worries. Take it easy.
That was Joe from Autocracy, and this is their song, Awakening.
I can only put one band through, and that band is going to be...
Pushing the cycling to the ledge. This is the end, cause I can't deal with this. I drop your gun and listen close. There's no leader or tyrant dictating this, so why the hell do we keep fighting it? Open up, say you're inviting me, instead of that, the knife behind your back. It's behind your back. My white flag's up, put your guns down, avert your eyes from me right now. The white flag's up, put your guns down, there's nothing left for you here now. Looking down so I can see my case, there's nothing left inside of me. What the fuck have I done deserving this? So someone else to real you. The old me's back, I'm not hiding him. He's seen the errors of his ways. Clear back cause no one's stopping him. Or the fight will go our separate ways. Go our separate ways. My white flag's up, put your guns down, avert your eyes from me right now. The white flag's up, put your guns down, there's nothing left for you here now.
Right, this is Steve from Ash and Crane, Melt to the Masses winners 2017. Just want to say good luck to all the bands taking part this year. See you at Bloodstock, guys.
Yes, indeed, that was Autocracy, the Metal to the Masses winners up in Burnley there. So we are now all up to date with all of the Metal to the Masses winners, and I sincerely hope that you have already marked more than a few of them on your Clash Finder for Bloodstock 2018, because remember, that is the main reason for us doing this. This is why we are playing them on the show and giving you a little insight into them so that you check them out beforehand, rather than just wandering past the tent and wandering in over the weekend. Oh, and just before I move on from Burnley, that night I bumped into some guys who had the most remarkable facial hair that night. So I joked with them that they must have got lost on the way to the World Beard Competition or something. And they promptly presented me with a business card advertising the British Beard and Moustache Championships 2018. So if any of you beardies out there fancy checking that out, it's a few weeks after Bloodstock on Saturday, August the 18th, up in Blackpool. Who knew that things like that even existed? Okay, so for the remainder of tonight's podcast, I am going to leave you in the extremely capable hands of my dear friend, Mr. Howard H. Smith from Acid Rain, who has got some waffle and some music for you all. But before I go, I just want to give a shout out to some of the Bloodstock-related Facebook groups that we have dotted about the place, especially for the first-timers that are joining us this year. Probably the best-known one and your best starting point is the Bloodstock Metal Forum 666, but we also have groups for people who are travelling alone and want to hook up with others to camp with and stuff. There is a group for our disabled camp, there is a Metal to the Masses group, and there is even now a Bloodstock Metal dating group as well. So if you fancy getting a little bit more involved in the final run-up to the festival, then please do check them out. Okay, so it's time for me to bid you farewell for this week, and I'll leave you with H. Remember to get your Bloodstock 2018 tickets and get yourselves out and about there and supporting live music, particularly our Metal to the Masses events if you can, and be seen because you are the scene. I've been Squatter, this has been Bloodstock Radio, and we'll see you next time for podcast number 50.
And now on Bloodstock Radio, the Gospel according to H from Acid Rain.
Hello, Bloodstockers. It is your old mate Howard H. Smith. Yes, he of Acid Rain, the Talking Bollocks podcast. This is the kind of ramshackle approach that I have to podcasting. And also live stand-up comedian, performer of Keith Platt, Professional Yorkshireman. You can find Acid Rain everywhere on social media, acidrain.co.uk, keithplatt.co.uk. But hey, who goes to websites anymore? How old-fashioned am I? You can find Talking Bollocks at no website, but you can find it on YouTube, you can find it on allabouttherock.co.uk, more websites, totally out of date. But more importantly, if you search in your podcast apps, you will be able to find Talking Bollocks. So that's if you want to. So enough self-promotion. Get your words out, Howard. That's the first minute is basically me going on about me. So apologies. So you excited, are you? You excited? Because Bloodstock's getting nearer, isn't it? Oh, God, I bet you're so excited. Oh, what a top weekend that's going to be, hey? I'm sure everybody listening to this is either going or wishing they were going. So if you're not going and you can't go for whatever reason, sorry for bringing it up. But what you're doing, listen to this podcast for. I myself, I'm not going to be able to make it as well because I'm busy working. So, it's what can I say? I'm jealous of you all. I'd love to see my old mate Andy Sneap with Judas Priest. That would be awesome. And also do my head in, as after all, I was at his surprise 18th birthday party. Believe it or not, I know. How old are we? So I'm here to. It's a bit, to be honest. I do feel a bit bad, and thanks to Squatter for letting me do this, but it's a bit of self-promotion, I've got to be honest. I've done a couple of spoken word shows. Now, I've called them spoken word shows, and people have thought that they are comedy shows. They're not necessarily comedy shows. They're more me telling tales from my book of thrash metal from across the years of things I've got up to, people I've met with, prisons I've avoided, things like that. I did a show up in Glasgow, which I'm going to play you a clip of. Just to give you an idea of what they're like. So you never know, if I'm nearby, if I'm at a town near you, then you might fancy popping along and checking one of the shows out. So I guess, look, without further ado, I'm going to stick that on. I am going to have a bit of a chat with you after this as well, and I'm also going to play you a tune as well. So don't hang up just yet. All right. So I can't believe this, but I'm going to introduce me. Yes, this is me. A little clip of my show from the audio in Glasgow on April the 6th this year, just before Lords of the Land.
So anyway, we then recorded the Moshkinstein demo. Now that was a completely different kettle of fish. I remember we'd sold the demo into, I had sold the demo into various record shops around the area, and I'd spent the day on a trip to Red Rhino Records in York. Shout out to Red Rhino Records in York if anyone remembers it. No, never mind, carry on. I'd sold some demos in there. I've still got the receipt in a scrapbook of the demos bit that I sold to them, and of course I sold them. It wasn't sale or return bullshit. It was like, you're buying these. No. And I remember coming home, got the train home. I remember clearly walking into the garden of my parents' house, and there was my mother out the house, stood on the doorstep, shaking, nearly wetting herself, going, "Jeff Howard from Music for Nations has called! Jeff Howard from Music for Nations has called! He wants you to call him back!" And I was just going, fucking, like all of you, I was just thinking, that's got to be Jem Fat Bastard Howard, off the credits to Ride the Lightning. He's right in there, tour manager, Jem Fat Bastard Howard. That's the first thing I thought. And my next thought was, don't ring him up and call him a fat bastard. Right? Don't do that. Not a good way to start your career. So, got in, came inside, I was now fucking shaking, got on the phone, rang him up, and he's like, yeah, I love the demo. We'd really like to do something with you. We'd really like to, sign you up and do some albums with you. And I was like, right, okay, yeah, brilliant. Playing it fairly cool, but inside going, fucking yes! And so I put the phone down, and it was like, fucking amazing! We were due to have a band meeting that night. We nipped off, got some champagne, borrowed some champagne glasses from the local off-licence, because you could do things like that back in the day. Hey? Imagine going down your local off-licence now. Can I borrow 12 champagne glasses? No, but you can fuck off. Or in certain parts of Glasgow, what's champagne? It's a joke. So anyway, so we had the band meeting, told everybody it was fucking awesome, we're going to get signed to Music for Nations. Wow, it's going to be amazing, brilliant. I went to bed that night and I had a dream. And the dream I had was, I rang Music for Nations the following day, and it turns out that Jem Howard was a robot. And he'd malfunctioned and phoned a load of shit bands. Right. So even back then, I'd already started ruining our career before it even started, in my own head. But we went down, the whole band went down to Music for Nations. This time the whole band, not just me and Gaz, and we all went down there. We were all sat waiting to go into a meeting. And Gaz, a member who remains nameless of the band, right, saw a Possessed Seven Churches CD on the table. That was weird. I just realised, I thought, there isn't anybody called Keith in Acid Rain. Kev, yeah, I know. It's just a very Glaswegian Kev. Keith! It's like both, isn't it? It could be either. So anyway, he saw this Seven Churches CD on the on the table, and he just goes, I'm fucking having that. Straight in the jacket, no problem. Job done. So we go in, we have a meeting with everybody from Music for Nations, with the legendary Martin Hooker, who signed Twisted Sister to Secret Records, signed The Exploited, with Jem Howard, previously mentioned Fat Bastard, and we had this meeting, and the meeting finished, and then Martin says, right, now we're going to take you down the stock room, and you can fill your boots. And the whole band went down into the stock room, and we walked in, and there was a massive fucking pile of Possessed Seven Churches CDs. I just nudged the unnamed member and went, hey, fucking hell, get yourself one of those. Look at that. Hey? We put the album out, and the album got reviewed in Kerrang, which was obviously, it was well received generally, but the main one was Quran, the heavy metal Bible. Okay, there I am, 18 years old. In fact, Moshkinstein came out 30 years and 1 week ago. Yeah. So I know, mental, isn't it? If only I knew that if I'd known 30 years ago that I could be performing for 40 pissed up Glaswegians, I think, wow, my life's gone wrong somehow, hasn't it? You what?
I was 2 at the time.
Mentally, so was I. Still am.
It's a classic.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And you were 2 at the time. Thank you. That is literally the worst heckle I've ever had. I'm going like, oh, haha, so was I. Inside, I'm dying. Fucking hell. So,
You're quite a shock to us.
I'm going to get to that. Don't worry. All right. I know my life as well as you do. I was there. I've been to every Acid Rain show. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, mate. Shut up. And we were told by the label that we had to take it out. The other part of the collage that we had to take out was a picture of a one-armed Rick Allen, a one-armed Rick Allen with Joe Elliott next to him, holding Rick's other arm. Apparently, we were told Def Leppard wouldn't see the funny side of that. Bearing in mind, it had happened quite recently. Yeah. That was mental. And then we ended up doing the Can You Survive Brain Death tour with Nuclear Assault. Yes. So, this is the first time that mine and Tony Bray from Venom, or Abaddon as he's otherwise known.
Yes.
It's the first time that mine and Tony's paths crossed. Now what happened was, I was walking along Camden High Street, having already been to the gig, and this bus pulled up, and Tony Bray stuck his head out the window and he goes, he's a Geordie. Excuse me, Lake. I was like, how are you, man? I didn't know. Are ye all right? What you gonna do? And bits like that. Basically, what he said. like all Geordies, like a Scotsman with his brains kicked in, basically. Right. So anyway, he says, he's like, excuse me, do you know where the electric ballroom is? And I was like, yeah, mate. Yeah. He goes, is there any chance you could give us directions, Lake? And I was like, yeah, every chance. He goes, would you like to come on the bus and give us directions? And I was like, okay, no problem. So I got up there, said, right, okay. He goes, so where is it, Lake? And I was like, down here. He goes, all right. Are you going to the gig? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, all right. Well, this is the tour bus, Lake. And I was like, right, okay. He said, if you give me a name, I'll get you on the guest list, son. And I went, well, it's all right, mate. I'm the singer in the support band, Acid Rain. And he just went, oh, fuck. Venom Inc. played Lords of the Land last year. We were having a chat. And our drummer, Mark, who's also a Geordie, goes, so how did you and Tony first meet? I was like, well, it's a funny story, that. And fucking Tony Bray just goes, oh, fuck off. He couldn't believe I've never ever let him live that down. Ever.
So there you go. That was a bit of me there. I hope you enjoyed it. I might add that is a Bloodstock exclusive. That's an exclusive to this podcast. For what it's worth, well, it's an exclusive for now. I am going to put it out later, so it's an exclusive for a few minutes. I just thought I'd throw that in there, and give you guys an idea of what it is I do. Like you care. But speaking of caring, obviously everybody listening to this is a pretty much a diehard fan of metal, of music, of bands in general, and I have to say, I've got to talk about the Slayer tour because there seems to be I don't know, people are either really, really willing to pay 60, 65 quid to go and see this tour or really not. And I guess people are split into a number of categories, which is I really want to go but I can't afford it, so I hate them for pricing me out. And I understand that, I get that, but by the same token, look at that bill. It's 65 quid. Metallica were charging 100 quid for pretty much just them. I know that that's a comparable yardstick, but if you like, I'll be honest. If I don't think, thrash metal should not be in arenas as far as I'm concerned. Simple as that. It shouldn't. But it is what it is. I was really hoping that this wasn't gonna be the shape of the tour the way it's been in the States. I was hoping that it was, they were going to be. I mean, I live in London. I was hoping they were going to be maybe do 2 nights at Brixton Academy, something like that. Unfortunately, it is at Wembley Arena, and as I said, I really don't think thrash metal should be in arenas. But it is what it is, and I know that's a really lazy conversational fallback, but I guess what I mean by that is, look, you have a choice, unless you've been priced out, in which case I feel for you. But there's some people who seem to be hardcore heroes who are adamant that they're not going to pay that, and it's disgusting, it's disgraceful, etc., etc., and then start going on about, well, it's only 50% of Slayer anyway. Well, whatever, 50% of Slayer is better than no Slayer at all, if you ask me. And ultimately, it's going to be the last time any of us get to see what is one of the legendary thrash metal bands, one of the big four. I mean, Slayer is the live band that I have seen more than any other. If I rule out bands that I've toured with, actually gone to see as a fan, Slayer are the band that I've gone to see more than any other band. And I can honestly say, hand on heart, I have never seen a bad Slayer gig. And for that reason alone, I am coughing up the money. Got the tickets this morning. I am going to go along to Wembley Arena. Anthrax are on the bill. I have to say, I'm not a huge Obituary fan. I'm even less of a fan of Lamb of God. But I just kind of felt like I had to. I guess it's just sort of. I still remember Rain in Blood blowing me away. I still remember, for that matter, Show No Mercy and Hell Awaits blowing me away. I mean, yes, I am that old, and it is. There's just something in me that had to do it. I mean, I had to do it. I had to spend the money. I had to find the money first, but I just had to spend the money, and it is something that, like I said, I just felt compelled to do. The power of thrash compelled me. Little Exorcist joke there for anybody who's going to get that obscure reference. But it is, and I guess I just wanted to share that with you. And if you're listening to this and shouting at the speakers saying, "Well, it's good for you, you can go," yeah, fine, I get it. If you don't want to go, you don't want to go. If you want to go, you want to go. The people that don't want to go and aren't going but still moaning are the ones that are doing my head in. I don't know how many other people have got these people on your social media timeline. It's like, hang on, you don't want to go, you're not going, but you're moaning about it anyway. That to me is just a waste of breath. It's a waste of keyboard time, but there you go. So I guess that's enough from me this time. That's been quite enough. That's been 16 minutes of me jibber-jabbering along. But as always, I do want to play you some music, and funnily enough, last time I played lots of music by The Beyond, who've forgotten British band. This time, I'd like to play a track by another forgotten British band, a band called Pulchas. That's Pulkas. A great sort of metal hardcore band that really never ever got the credit they were due. They brought one album out. It was called Greed. It came out. Let's have a look. It came out on Earache in 1998. So it was an extremely unpopular time to be releasing this kind of stuff. And if you can find it, hunt it down. It is a great, great album. And anyway, I'm going to leave you now. Thanks for letting me just, talk at you. And I'm going to leave you now with Pulchas and Close to the Enemy.
the fans, for the fans. Bloodstock Radio.